I teach a class called Race and the Law at a law school, and I tell them all the time, you would not need this course if the other law school courses would intentionally and honestly talk about the ways race, racism, bias, and quite frankly, racially uncomfortable moments are ingrained in our laws, our policies, and our procedures. It's very relevant to many, and I would argue all areas of the law. It's why I created Skin Deep, which is the deep history of skin in America. And listen, it is deep, and it's the family history of America. Skin has always mattered in our country, and to rewrite history into a colorblind society is not supported by our foundational laws, policies, and the treatment of those with hues that have varying shades. And I don't know if you have ever been in a conversation where the thing that needs to be said is not being said. And it's what I experienced within the family and child welfare system. There is a systematic ignoring of how Black, brown, and broke folks have experienced the foster care and child welfare system. And so I created an online and an on-demand course to really fill this gap. I also provide trainings in person to organizations who need to have the discussion about race, poverty, and the work that they do with communities as it relates to child welfare. And I've learned a few things along the way. Number one, just because a leader is ready to have the discussion doesn't mean that the people are, doesn't mean staff are. And the history of race in America runs very deep, yet there can be a strategic avoidance of the issue, and this can lead to swaths of people who have never engaged in a discussion about race, let alone racism and bias, including how it impacts the families that they serve. I saw this within the class that I teach, and so one of my assignments is to have discussions on race, talk to someone of a different race. And there's a structure and there's a process that we go through, but inevitably the students come back and they're like, I've never had these conversations. And what I say, and what I will continue to say, is that if you're serving people, you need to be able to talk to people. And you need to be able to talk to people about things that you're uncomfortable with, because in you serving them, it very well may come up. The other thing that I've learned is number two. Although I provide an online training and webinar for the Skin Deep course, right? It's pre-recorded. People can access it by clicking a button. I no longer will provide an online training for the workshop that I do. So the workshop that I do is called Going Deep Together. And when organizations now inquire to have their staff to go through the workshop, I'll only provide it in person. Why? Because I've completed dozens of trainings, and inevitably the most effective ones are the ones that are in person. And with a topic like race and race relations and internal and external reflections, it's really easy to try and find a way to disengage and escape, especially when it becomes uncomfortable. And being online and multitasking really lends itself very easily to this escapism. And also, it's way too much of an it's way too hard of an emotional lift for me, right? To try to read the virtual room. I need to see the body language. I need to understand what's happening as I'm leading the workshop. I had to realize that my comfort level is also really important, as I'm the one doing a lot of this emotional labor. And so, like I said, the course is online. It's pre-recorded. People can access it. They can go through it as they want to. We have the webinar that's also available. But when I do trainings for groups of people, I do it in person. That's what I've learned. And then number three, it's better when you are learning, applying, and checking off a to-do. So the Skin Deep webinar was recently accredited for 7.2 CLEs in Missouri for attorneys. It's also accredited for 7 CLEs for Kansas attorneys, and Kansas, and also in Kansas, it's accredited for self-study, so self-paced. Or, of course, you can also do the webinars that we have pre-scheduled. And so it's accredited for Missouri and Kansas CEUs as well for the social work community. And this is just the beginning. I'm really interested in what I'm wanting to continue to pursue is having discussions with organizations and institutions on how to make Skin Deep a part of their learning for their staff, for their students, because this is an excellent course that is professionally produced and it adds value to anyone who is looking to build their cultural competency, understand the history, understand the now, understand the application, and just understand how all families have experienced race in America as it relates to family relations. And so the last thing that I've learned is that connecting with people and their experiences is what keeps us grounded and connected to humanity. So as helpers, we can't forget that the experiences that shape people matters. It matters what happens to communities. It matters what has happened to communities. And Skin Deep provides a strategic overview of the history of families' treatment in America by race. So white families, Black families, tribal families and communities, Latino, Hispanic families, and Asian families, how has the law treated them and what can we learn as we move forward? So if you are interested in having Skin Deep as a part of your child and family serving organizations, and or you are responsible for training the next generation and the current generation of folks that are helping families and communities, you should reach out. So currently I'm running a special. So for 6 months access to the course, it'll be $200 for folks to access it individually. And I'm also including a coupon code for those looking to register for the upcoming webinars and course. And after you register for the course, you can download the app. We have an app. We have an app for that, right? To begin consuming the course on the go. Or you can, of course, sit on your computer and consume it that way as well. I am so excited about this next space. I am so interested in just continuing to work with people and organizations that are not shying away from understanding that we have a history that is worthy of understanding, because some of these things that are happening currently, it's on repeat. It's happened before. And so there's strange comfort in that. And there's a strange power in that, in knowing that we aren't powerless and that we have the ability to make impactful change and to make sure that all families have what they need to thrive.